Best of luck to everybody. You couldn't have picked a better opportunity to put your heart and soul into. Yes, to start rambling, I think it's been 2 official summers since I've been out of Student Works. I think that's right, at least. Time goes really, really fast. I was with Student Works for many, many years. I want to say a total of 6, but even that might be slightly off, could be 7. I started as a painter. I painted for a summer and then applied very quickly and very early in the season to run a business for the following year. I ran a business then for 2 years in 2 different cities. And then I was asked to be promoted to a district manager, where I did that for the next few years, 2 to be exact, in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Then I changed pace even further, threw Dan and Corey for a loop, and I district managed as well as went back to running a franchise. I really, really missed it. So then I covered Saskatchewan, half of Saskatchewan, as well as running my own business again. And my final year, I just ran a franchise, and it was a big, big year.
Yeah, it was awesome. You had some
Yes.
record-breaking Saskatchewan numbers, so that was fun to be a part of because I took over for you in that year that you were just franchising. So
Yeah.
what are you doing now? What's your life look like now?
I am a full-time realtor in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Nice. And tell me about your transition into real estate from Student Works. How was that process?
Honestly, couldn't have been easier. I don't think I anticipated it to be so simple. Like when you just get in the groove in Student Works and the habits and the traits that you learn just become part of your everyday life. And then you go to change things, you don't realize really how they fit almost any career you're going to have until you're in it. So I was so nervous about the change, so nervous about feeling like I was in something I didn't know much about, nervous about being in something I wasn't good at because I was leaving Student Works being so good at it and so passionate about it. But I learned very, very quickly that because of my past and what I've learned with Student Works, I was very, very adaptable, and I got myself pretty comfy in real estate pretty quick.
That's awesome. And then in terms of your Student Works time, when you look back on it, what are you most grateful for?
I don't know if you can pinpoint one thing. I really don't. I think once, I don't know if there's any vet that could truly say that there's simply just one thing. I get compliments all the time on my professionalism, and I drive that just right back to Student Works. Single-handedly, that's what's got me there. I get compliments all the time from my competitors and my peers about my time management and just simply my, I guess, like the ethics I hold in myself. And all of that I got right from Student Works. So simply some of the biggest, I think, qualities I bring to the table, that my teammates and my competitors notice, I got from Student Works.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of people who have left and now are in their careers can say some of those same things, but are even on different paths.
Yes.
So in terms of what you learned, what are some of the key things that you learned throughout your time at Student Works?
Uh, Prioritizing is something I'd say really massively. Goal setting, time, being extremely diligent with your time management, um, being on time. Nothing like irks me further than how unprofessional someone looks in the workplace that's constantly late when you've left Student Works and you're like, how can you do this? It just like drives me nuts. Those are some massive things I think I've left with. But honestly, confidence my confidence is huge in the workplace and in business because of Student Works. My confidence in being thrown into situations with any client, like I said, I'm in real estate, I'm not in painting anymore, but the confidence that Student Work taught me and gave to me has made me adapt to something I don't know very well, with, I think, no one realizing how little I knew.
You were able to kind of fake it till you make it
Yes,
type of role. Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. And how has Student Works kind of helped shape your life now and your profession now?
Honestly, I feel Like if I hadn't gone through the student works process, I wouldn't be a record. I wouldn't be such a high setter in the real estate world. In my very first year, I was top 3% of realtors. Now, the stats aren't quite out yet, as we're not quite done this year, but I've destroyed my first year, meaning I would anticipate that I'm going to be in the top 1 or 2% of realtors in Saskatoon. And I would not in any way, shape, or form be there if I hadn't gone through my years of student works.
That's incredible, and congrats on your success with real estate as well as all of the years of student works.
Thank
Um, yeah, of course. Would you say real estate is a good profession to go in after student works?
Incredibly perfect fit. I mean, obviously, business and business for sure. Anyone who's going through student works that simply has a business mind, like, of course, it will be an incredibly perfect fit. I think student works is really fit for almost any industry you're going into. Like when I started student works, I had no intention of business ever in my life. I was getting a psychology degree, which I got. Just through student works and realizing what a passion I had for this, I changed course to something more business related, to where I found real estate. I would say it's a phenomenal fit. I mean, I'm great friends with some alumni that are realtors or soon to be realtors. So I'd say wholeheartedly it's a phenomenal fit for anyone through student works.
Absolutely, I would agree. And then my last question is just for any young students looking to get involved with student works or they're going into their first year, is there any advice that you would give them?
Give your whole heart and soul into this. You don't get opportunities like this every day. The biggest thing you don't want to have happen is looking back on your first year and realizing you gave it 70% through the year, not 100. They really mean it when they say you are least busy right now than you will be any other period in your life. In fact, I was just talking to my fiance about that the other day, and it's funny how my first year of real estate, being in school, and you think you're so busy, and now that I own a house and I have a career, and like you realize time just gets busier. But I can assure you there is nowhere better spent of your extra hours. There is nowhere better spent of your extra values. Give it 100%. You will regret it if you don't.
Awesome. I think that's incredible advice and advice that everyone should take. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me